Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. Back in June of this year, there was an article written in The Economist. The title of the article it may have you scratching your head. It was called Texifornia. And me living out here in the great state of Texas, a lot of people are kind of upset about the title of that article. But the premise of the article the author put forward is that the future, the way forward for the United States of America, will come down to two mega states. And you can imagine what those two mega states are. It is either California or it is Texas. And so when I think about the way forward for America, the path that we will take going ahead, if it does come down to California and Texas, I think the last week gave us some really good insights as to where America could be heading and where America should head. Last week, we found out that California, the state that has the highest state income tax in the United States of America at 13%, also has one of the highest, I'd say the highest, poverty levels in the United States of America at 20%. Now think about this. 1 in 5 Californians is at or below the poverty level. But yet, California has the highest state income tax. And that follows along with what you continue to hear people like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or really all of the class of clowns from the progressive socialist left saying that we must raise taxes. We must have higher taxes. We must go after those, higher wage earners because it's all about wealth redistribution. But in the end, all they do is create more misery. And that's what California is. When you look at Los Angeles, San Francisco, the incredible homeless situation that you have out there in California, is that the path? Is that the way forward for the United States of America? Now, sadly enough, here in the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State, where there is so much growth, opportunity, and prosperity, estimates say that 1,000 people a day are moving into Texas, a lot of them from California. But in Texas, this November, we will have a resolution, a ballot initiative that will be whether or not Texas should have a state income tax. What has brought people to Texas is the economic freedom, the economic empowerment that we have here. But for some odd reason, this pestilence, this cancer of progressive socialism that has overtaken Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington State, is now setting its sights on this incredible Lone Star State of Texas. We know that the higher taxes is not the solution, but yet we're finding ourselves asking the question here in Texas even, do we need to have a state income tax? As well, if you go down to the capital of the great state of Texas, that's Austin, Texas, where the motto is keep Austin weird, it has gotten even weirder. Not too long ago, the City Council of Austin voted to allow homeless people to erect, tents.
Major changes are happening in Austin after city council members voted overnight to roll back some rules often referred to as homeless ordinances.
That means it's no longer illegal to ask for money as long as it's not done aggressively. You still cannot camp in city parks or on private property, but police will no longer ticket someone for camping, sitting, or lying down in public places.
So even the capital city of Texas is starting to look more like, shall I say it, the failures of San Francisco and also Los Angeles. Texifornia, that was a very good question to pose. What is the future? What is the way forward in the United States of America? Will it be California? Will it be Texas? But what we see happening in Texas is that so many people are moving into Texas from failed states like California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey. But for whatever reason, they are bringing their delusion. They're actually continuing to vote for the policies, the philosophies of governance that drove them out of those states. So I think it's important that we ask a question of people that are moving into Texas and maybe some of the other successful red states, such as North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Why did you move here? And furthermore, why did you leave the place where you were living? Those are important questions to ask if we're going to get to a way forward for the United States of America. Maybe perhaps out in California, they should spend less time worrying about plastic straws and worrying about economic empowerment, not economic enslavement. Maybe they should spend more time worrying about how they take care of the citizens of the state of California instead of providing free health care and other benefits to illegal immigrants. But something else happened last week that really does cause us an opportunity to ask ourselves, what's the way forward for the United States of America? Well, due to the mismanagement of their forests and their outlying areas, California is suffering from wildfires. But the amazing thing is that their utilities company is now conducting rolling blackouts. Yes, there are people out in the state of California that find themselves under mandatory blackouts, not because of anything they have done, it's because of the mismanagement. And that mismanagement starts at the top with their governor, Gavin Newsom, who used to be the mayor of San Francisco. The way forward, America, if it is, as that article The Economist wrote called Texifornia, think about it. Do you want to live in the dark like many people are doing out in California right now? Businesses are going to lose their resources. Think about the restaurants. They have to be concerned about the foods that they're going to lose because of a mandatory blackout. In Texas, we live on our own electric grid system. We're not connected to the East Coast grid system or the West Coast grid system. That's how successful Texas has been. But the thing about the Lone Star State, the thing about the United States of America, it's always been a beacon of liberty and freedom. It's always been a beacon of that indomitable entrepreneurial spirit. But if we head down the path of California, if we believe that that's the way forward for the United States of America, we will find ourselves living in a darkness. It is not that the lights will go out, it's that our freedoms will be erased because we will live in an ideological darkness.